Something happened this week that the entire crypto world is talking about. The New York Times just published a massive 10,000-word investigation. Their conclusion is explosive. They believe they have finally identified the real creator of Bitcoin after 17 years of complete mystery and silence. For 17 years, the name Satoshi Nakamoto has been the biggest unsolved mystery in the entire history of finance. This one anonymous person invented Bitcoin in 2008, wrote a 9-page white paper that changed the world forever, built a $2.4 trillion industry from nothing, and then simply disappeared without a trace. Nobody knew who Satoshi was. Nobody knew where he lived. Nobody knew if he was even still alive. Now the New York Times says they have found the answer. After an 80-month investigation led by John Carrero, the same legendary journalist who exposed the massive Theranos blood testing fraud and took down billionaire Elizabeth Holmes, Times is pointing their finger directly at one specific person. His name is Dr. Adam Back, and the crypto world has not stopped talking about it since. Adam Back is a 55-year-old British cryptographer currently living in El Salvador. He is absolutely not a random name in the crypto world. He is one of the most respected, most referenced, and most influential figures in the entire history of digital currency and cryptography, going all the way back to the 1990s when the internet was still young. Back invented a system called Hashcash in 1997, more than 10 years before Bitcoin was even created. Hashcash used the exact same proof-of-work mining system that Bitcoin itself is built on today. Bitcoin's entire core technology is essentially Hashcash evolved and expanded into something far more powerful, far more decentralized, and ultimately world-changing in ways nobody predicted. The New York Times investigation used artificial intelligence and advanced computational linguistics tools to compare Satoshi's known writings with thousands of people from the early cypherpunk movement online. They analyzed 3 major internet mailing lists that spanned several decades of technical correspondence. Out of every single person they examined across thousands of candidates, Adam Back matched Satoshi Nakamoto's writing style more closely than anyone else on the entire planet. The investigators found 67 specific matching instances in writing patterns alone. Both Satoshi Nakamoto and Adam Back consistently write 2 spaces between sentences, an old-fashioned typing habit that very few people still use today. Both use British spellings inconsistently in the exact same unusual way, sometimes writing check the British way and check the American way in the very same document. Both misuse hyphens in the exact same specific pattern. A professional forensic linguistics expert reviewed all the evidence independently and agreed the writing match was extremely close and highly unusual. But the single most compelling piece of evidence in the entire investigation is not about writing at all. It is about timing. The specific period when Adam Back mysteriously and completely disappeared from all online activity precisely overlapped with the exact period when Satoshi Nakamoto was most active building Bitcoin, writing code, corresponding with developers, and launching the network to the world. When Back went completely quiet online, Satoshi suddenly appeared. When Satoshi permanently vanished from the internet in 2011, Back came back online and resumed his public presence as if nothing had happened. Now here's the part of this story that directly and immediately affects your money and your investments. Satoshi Nakamoto is believed to control a single wallet containing 1.1 million Bitcoin. At current market prices, that stash is worth approximately $78 billion. That is more Bitcoin than any company, any government, or any institution anywhere on Earth currently controls. It is 44% more Bitcoin than the world's largest corporate Bitcoin holder, and every single one of those coins has sat completely untouched and dormant for years without a single transaction. If Satoshi or whoever truly controls that wallet ever decided to sell even a small fraction of those 1.1 million coins, it could crash the Bitcoin market almost instantly. Imagine $78 billion worth of Bitcoin suddenly hitting the open market at one time. It would be the single largest sell event in the entire history of crypto. Every single person who owns Bitcoin anywhere in the world is sitting with this enormous risk permanently hanging over their investment every single day. Adam Back denied the claims immediately and publicly after the New York Times article was published. He posted on X, saying simply and directly, "I am not Satoshi." He argued that the overlaps between his decades of technical work and Bitcoin's design simply reflect shared ideas and common interests among people who worked in the same specialized field at the same period in history. He said coincidence and confirmation bias, not hidden authorship, explain all the similarities the Times found. Here is something that makes this entire story even more financially significant and legally complicated right now. Adam Back is currently the CEO of BSTRA company that holds more than 30,000 Bitcoin and is actively preparing to go public through a merger with a Cantor Fitzgerald-controlled company. As the CEO of a company that is in the process of going public in the United States, he is legally required under U.S. securities law to disclose any information that is material to investors before that public listing happens. The New York Times pointed out this legal issue directly and clearly in their investigation. A secret hidden stash of 1.1 million Bitcoin worth $78 billion that could single-handedly single-handedly crash the entire global crypto market if it were ever sold. Would almost certainly be considered legally material information that must be disclosed to investors. That creates a serious legal and financial situation that no denial on social media can simply make disappear. Bitcoin's price reacted immediately to this bombshell story. Bitcoin jumped 4.4% to over $71,000 on the very day the investigation was published. Crypto markets are extraordinarily sensitive to any news related to Satoshi's identity, because the mystery of who controls that massive dormant wallet creates a permanent cloud of uncertainty that hangs over every single investor in the crypto market at all times. Not everyone is convinced that the New York Times got it completely right. Multiple respected crypto experts and analysts noted that many early cypherpunks from the 1990s shared very similar writing styles, political beliefs, technical vocabularies, and online communication habits. Some analysts argue convincingly that a reclusive mathematician named Nick Szabo is actually a stronger and more logical candidate than Adam Back. Nick Szabo's initials are the exact inverse of Satoshi Nakamoto, and unlike Back, there is no complicated paper trail of public correspondence between Szabo and Satoshi that needs to be awkwardly explained away. What does all of this mean for your money right now? If you currently own Bitcoin, the Satoshi identity question creates very real and ongoing financial risk that you cannot ignore. If that dormant wallet ever moves even one single coin, markets will react violently and immediately. Prices could drop dramatically within minutes of such a movement being detected on the blockchain. Here is the absolute final bottom line. The New York Times has made the strongest and most detailed case ever constructed that British cryptographer Adam Back is Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous genius sitting on $78 billion in dormant coins. Back flatly denies it. The crypto community remains deeply divided. But whoever Satoshi truly is, that person is sitting on the single biggest financial time bomb in the history of money. And the moment those coins finally move, nothing in the crypto market will ever be the same again. Stay informed, stay alert, and always invest only what you can afford to lose completely.